With E3 coming around the corner, there's a lot of questions that's been going through my mind since my last two videos. The two videos I uploaded that got a lot of attention, which I want to bring up really quickly. Thank you so much for everyone who enjoyed that. I was not expecting those videos, specifically the one about word it might be lost. I didn't expect it to grow the view count and the comments and everything about it, as well as the gain of subscribers. Though I will admit I might have lost a few because of me and my video production schedule is really frustrating, but that's besides the point. So this video in particular is something that I have in the back of my head because this week is the day that id Software and Bethesda are going to show something. And I hope they show something. My fear right now is they got nothing to show, that they're only just going to advertise it, say Quake Champions is a thing, and then throw it out the window and leave it at that. That is my fear. And the reason I feel that way is because on the PTS, the update for the PTS dropped a few weeks ago, and the only thing the PTS seems to be updating is a couple of minor things. They're going to be, fixing out some of the champions like Soar, Lag, and Anarchy. Some of their speeds are going to be lessened down, so they're not so nimble, I feel like, and some other changes to the lightning gun's pushback, to other things related to how a weapon operates. But there's no information about a new game type, or a new map, or a new champion. Three of the key things that they should really be adding to make this game work. Now, granted, I understand that they can't be just adding maps and modes every single day because it could be a bit too much, and they have to build things very carefully. But at the same time, they could still at least give us something to be excited for more than what they're giving us. And that's my concern. The fact that PTS doesn't have anything like that makes me worried that they got nothing to show. Or they're purposely hiding this information for the possibility of showing this at E3 this coming week. And they might show some bomb and give us some information. Maybe we are going to get a new champion, which will be cool if, like I said before, if it was people like Klesk or Tank Jr. or even Zero. That would be really cool. Or even Uriel. You also have Orb. Orb is definitely something that I think most people would love to see, although what kind of abilities and passive he's going to have is hard to really dictate, in my opinion. But at the same time, I think that you have a lot of opportunities to bring characters from past Quake 3 Arena skins into this game. They've done beforehand. And plus, with the introduction of people like Strong and Peepker and Death Knight, we also, have the introduction of the possibility of adding characters from other properties. People have also talked about the idea of maybe adding characters from Skyrim, or any other Bethesda properties. Maybe even a character from Prey, which would be interesting, but I feel that they should try to keep focusing on what Quake 3 Arena was for Quake Champions to work, which is to add mostly characters from the Quake brand. That's why we have the Doomslayer and BJ Blazkowicz and Ranger from Doom, Wolfenstein, and Quake. And so the possibility of them adding a new character would be fantastic, and if they do add another character from the past Quake 3 Arena games, that would be amazing, and I will be incredibly excited to see what they're going to show at E3. Hell, it would be even better if they show a classic map from something like Quake 3 Arena or even Quake 2. There's a lot of good maps they can take properties from Quake 2. Maybe there's possibilities of reworking a couple of maps to be much more balanced for the game modes they're including, like with Slipgate and Sacrifice. But we won't know until this weekend. And I hope they do something. Because last year, when their big announcements for Quake Champions was just, well, now the game is free, you don't have to buy the Champions pack. Then the question, was that growth going to stick? And it didn't. Like I mentioned before, our peak was 17,000 during that month of June, and an average count of 6,000 players. But since June, it dipped hard. The next month was only a peak of 6,000 with an average of 2,000, and it's dipped. It's now at the point where the average count that I've noticed is we peaked at 900 with an average of 600 players. And that's really sad. And like I said in my past video, I'm worried that this game is going to be lost and it may just die and not get a rebirth as it deserves. And it's hard to say if the reason it failed is because they tried to esports the game first before focusing on the main game, or the fact that so many people weren't excited for the idea of it turning a hero shooter, although I've argued that I think that's fine because we had games like Unreal Tournament 2003, 2004 that added the adrenaline system, which I know is not exactly similar to Quake Champion, how Quake Champions is, because it's clearly, an ultimate ability with a passive ability. I get that. But the idea of there being different balance effects of the games is a little bit different than what people think. That's just my opinion. And I understand that this game is not well heavy on some people's eyes. The fact that Quake Life still exists and it's player driven since that update back in 2015 is a good thing, and I'm very happy for that. But at the same time, I still think people should give Quake Champions a chance. It has a solid gameplay base. I understand the biggest problem is the fact that characters have different speed levels, different passive levels, and the fact that, people like Sorlek and Scarecrow have a better armor, max armor value than people like Nyx and Slash. But the damage is still the same regardless of who you play as. A direct shot is still going to do 100 damage regardless if it's a light to a heavy character. The difference is just max armor value, and the only way to go above your max armor value is by picking up the heavy armor, which goes past that by 100. And that's the only way to extend that. But then through Quake logic, it decreases down to it hits your max level, which is either 100 or, 75, 100, 125 for the armor values, which I think is amazing for what it does. It gives the balance efforts to all the other stuff. The light characters are much more fast and nimble. The fact that a lot of their passives and a lot of their abilities are meant for more of escapes than anything else. Slash is really good if you can practice her slide ability on a massive scale. You have Nyx that has the semi-wall jump that's also very useful. And so I like how the game feels and its design. I have a few issues with map designs, especially with the map like Awoken, and it's hard to say how they can fix that, but, we'll see what happens. But most of all, I really want this game to do better than it should be. They fixed the store up a lot better than before. Originally, the only way you could outright buy anything was you had to wait for it to be in the store, or loot box the shit out of it, which good luck because that's gambling. Although that's always a different argument depending on perspective. But at least now, you can straight up buy anything you want. You don't have to wait anymore. The only thing the store does is only what things are on sale. So the only thing you have to worry about is the possibility of maybe getting a skin you want 20% cheaper of plat. And with the introduction of the login screen from this last update, it makes it easier to earn shards. You can earn 100 platinum per week, and if you're working on the battle pass, you can also earn platinum that way. I know it's only like, I think, maybe 100, maybe even 200 plat, but it's still better than nothing for a free player. And if you keep working that up, you can use that to be able to buy the skins you actually want. And the fact that the Requilities, even though it's still a loot box, but at least the Requilities guarantee a legendary item, which means you have chances of getting skins like the Quake 1 rocket launcher or the Quake 1 lightning gun or something of the sort based off of that. And it works a lot better in the player's choice this way. And I like that. I'm actually very impressed by that. And it's getting on a better direction. But I almost feel like because it's not making Game Buster monies because they have to remove the loot boxes and no one is spending straight up money because the player count is lower or any of the sort, we can't prove what it could be. The problem we run into is they just may not put support into it. But this weekend is Bethesda and id Software's time to shine. This is their time to show us something. The people who are still dedicated fans, like myself in a sense, that want this to grow, that want this to do better. We don't want this to die. We are not asking it to die. We want you to fix it and listen. And boy, I hope they are. Because this weekend is their time to shine. And if they have nothing to show before the update that drops in about a week, then I don't know what the future for Quake Champions is going to become. With that, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and take care, and we'll see what this weekend brings. See you later.